Hey guys, I'm Brian, and this is my friend Jeremy. Jeremy was the first person I met when I moved to Texas in the 4th grade. We were really good friends throughout elementary and middle school and a little bit of high school before we went our different directions. Last time I saw Jeremy, he pretty much looked like this, and I looked like this. Sorry ladies, I'm taken. So fast forward 25 years, Jeremy is now a family life pastor at Quest Community Church in Westerville, Ohio. Me, I'm a 41-year-old mediocre IT director in North Dallas. A few weeks back, Jeremy messaged me on social media saying he was going to be in town and asked if I'd like to get together and reconnect. I was excited to hear from him, and my immediate response was to ask if he had any interest in going up in a small plane. He seemed to think that sounded like a fun idea, so we decided we would meet at the airport and go fly around and grab some breakfast. So this video is a little bit longer than the videos I typically make, and it's not slapstick, but if you want, tag along and watch Jeremy and I relive some of our childhood memories.
Well, this feels like old hat now.
Yeah, it's boring. Are we there yet? Alright, so for the record, we are over North Texas at 7,000 feet with Jeremy Shelley, who I have not seen in 23 or so years.
Yeah.
Who I met in the 4th grade.
Brian, what was the, because I want to have this documented too.
Sure.
When I first came to your house, how do you remember me?
So the very first time Jeremy ever came to my house, we were kids in Carrollton, Texas, and all I remember is Jeremy showed up wearing I think it was a fishnet half shirt. I know it was a half shirt. You know what? No, it wasn't. What it was, you were wearing a half shirt, and then I went and I found a half shirt, because I just moved to Texas, and he's the first person I met, and so I just like, this is how people dress. I want to be cool.
This is how people...
I don't know. I wanted to fit in. And you were the only person I knew, so I remember just thinking I gotta get a half shirt and a skateboard.
And a skateboard, that's the truth.
We were the best skaters in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah, we skated up to Blaylock. We skated up to Mervin's. Do you remember skating over to Mervin's?
I do.
Yeah, because we would ollie those stairs that were right by the movie theater right there.
It's fun to talk about it because it sounds like maybe we were good at it, but I don't know that I ever successfully ollied more than a half inch off the ground and didn't bust my knees or something.
Yeah, I was terrible too.
And we never had pads or helmets.
Now, can you imagine letting your kids do anything without...
Yeah, because I'm a cool parent. No. No way. The only trick I ever could successfully do on a skateboard was rail slide. I remember we'd get crayons and rub them on the rails of there was a curb, and I could actually, and what's funny in my mind, I was such a terrible skater, I can't believe I could do it, but I know I could get up on the curb and rail slide. In my mind 15 feet, it was probably 12 inches.
No, it was actually kind of far, because I remember that curb.
That curb was always covered in crayons.
Covered in crayons, yeah.
Yeah, so take your headset off for just a second and listen to how loud it is.
Yeah.
They used to not have headsets. You used to have a handheld microphone, and there's a speaker right back here, and so you'd have to do it all like that. I'm like, I have no idea how people used to do that.
Kidding. Well, you know, in the movies, there's less noise, too. That's something that I've noticed.
There's a lot that's different in the movies.
Is this recording my voice as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'll keep the curse words to a minimum.
Yeah, well, I'm going to just bleep it like every other thing. Yeah, 40 years from now, we're going to be like, remember that time we flew the plane together?
Remember that time?
After this, I'm going to go look for a plaid button-up shirt.
This is Gap, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what it is?
Maybe Old Navy.
I did this for you. I shop at Journeys in Gadzooks.
They're Gadzooks, oh yeah. I do still wear Doc Martens.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I've never owned a pair.
Never. They're so comfortable.
Yeah, everybody always wore them. I was always the Converse guy.
Converse are cool. I always liked them. I actually have a couple pair right now. But I unfortunately bought the white Converse right at the same time that every girl on the planet decided that they were good to wear. And so now people get confused, like, oh, why are you dressing like a high school girl, Jeremy?
Mine were always plaid or some goofy thing. But you know what I like? The Seattle thing is coming back again with the flannels. That was my favorite. That should never have gone away.
Yeah.
That and tight rolling jeans.
Tight rolling. Well, that's back.
Is it back? That's sad.
Totally back.
That was such a comfortable way to wear your jeans.
Yeah. I was telling, well, you know, because I do youth ministry, so I'm kind of in the midst of the trends. I'm never with them. my typical uniform is a pair of Levi's and a black V-neck.
Okay.
That's what I wear.
And the other thing is, just for the record, because you are a minister, I didn't do an emergency briefing because nothing bad can happen to us.
That's right.
With you on board.
That's right.
All right.
I understand that completely.
God is our co-pilot. I've seen the bumper sticker.
Good. Jesus, take the wheel.
If Cavaricci's come back.
Oh, Cavaricci's.
I remember, like, I had to have a pair of Cavaricci's in there. I think they're like $70 for a pair of pants, which in $1989 was
completely absurd. I don't know why our parents ever...
I don't know why you were my style guru. I started wearing suspenders because you wore suspenders. I would never wear suspenders.
Yeah, I should never be anyone's... Do you want to know what I remember? Do you remember those patent leather shoes that had the black soles, the black rubber soles? Do you remember those?
Vaguely.
So we'd wear them with Z Cavaricci's, and I remember we went to this, well, I don't know if we did, but I'm sure you were there. It was a Blaylock school dance, and there was a new kid that came, but he was kind of like he was a ladies' man, and I remember...
You're probably thinking of me.
You're right.
It was me.
I come back to it. Yeah, it was Brian. So Brian, what you did was you were dancing with this girl.
I was.
No, and I loved it because I wish I remembered his name, because this would be a great story to remember and really tell in full. But you know the slow dancing in middle school, you're just going in a circle, you're barely touching hips. Yeah, that's how you still do it.
I'll show you after we land.
He had gone in so many circles in those black shoes with the black soles.
Left a ring on the floor?
Yes. Do you remember that?
No.
It left a ring on the floor.
Why do I think it was Corey Welch? Do you remember him?
I don't. I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, this is when you realize all your problems are down on the ground and you're you're not good to get away from them. That's just amazing looking, isn't it?
It really is.
Who was the kid? Wozniak? Who just started like running man and like a circle formed around him?
Chris Wozniak.
Dancing and like, I was like, oh, I didn't even know any of us knew how to dance.
Yeah.
And then like, turns out this guy had been practicing in his bedroom or something.
He's been practicing in his bedroom. He must have had an older sibling that was kind of cool that, gave him tips on, what to do. Because that was my thing. I mean, you had an older sister, I had an older sister, but my older sister, she studied all the time. You know what your sister introduced me to, which was the greatest thing ever? The Beastie Boys.
Oh, yeah.
And because I listened to her Licensed to Ill, where you let me listen to it. And also Too Short. Do you remember Too Short?
I do remember Too Short.
Oh, gosh.
He was way into the rap scene. And I remember I was listening to No Sleep Till Brooklyn on my bike when I got hit by a car. Do you remember that?
I do.
I got hit by a car. I was just jamming out, riding my bike. And then I just decided I was going to go home and made this big U-turn without paying attention, and this big old boat of a car full of kids on their way to a baseball game hit me, and I remember just the Walkman just shattering, and my Beastie Boys, or my sister's Beastie Boys tape goes flying, and I remember these guys, I couldn't walk, I was broken and beat up, but I thought I was going to get in trouble, and so these guys were like, oh my god, and they're panicking, and like, where do you live? And I'm like, don't worry, I'll get myself home. I'm standing up and falling and trying to stay, I'm like, I just don't want to get in trouble, because I've been hit by a car. My parents are going to spank me. You got hit by a car. You're grounded.
You were wearing a helmet, though.
No, I wasn't. And I went over the top of that car, and that was bad. And then I went to the hospital to get checked out, and the cop gave me a big lecture about how it was my fault. I was like, I know. That's my Beastie Boys memory.
Beastie Boys. So, do you still listen to them?
No.
Or do you have PTSD?
Panic attacks?
Yeah, like, oh my gosh. Hit by a car.
That makes me worry about my kids, though. I'm like, I do feel like there's so many things like that where you're distracted, you do something dumb, and you get hurt or whatever, but you come out unscathed, and it's like it could have been worse.
Could have been worse, yeah.
Could have been. Def Leppard.
Oh, man.
That was the other. I do remember my first guitar, and I don't know who it was, came over to the house and taught me how to play Armageddon it. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to be a rock star one day because I can play the first 7 seconds of that. And then I went to Ryan Snow's house. Michael Ramsey comes over with a half stack and some guitar, starts playing Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. And I remember just going, I didn't even know we were capable of making this noise. Like this,
we can do this?
We can do this? Like I thought, surely, like, you can't make that sound at home. And I'm like, I've got to get a half stack and I've got to get a Washburn and a Slayer.
Well, I remember listening to you play, and I thought, because I played bass.
And you were probably like, man, Brian sounds just like Michael Ramsey.
I don't know, he dresses like me, but he plays like Michael Ramsey. Can't figure this kid out. No, but I remember I was always so impressed because I couldn't play guitar. I was never good. I got kicked out of a band.
Did you?
Do you remember Victory?
I remember, what's his name? Oh, don't tell me his name. Don't tell me his name.
I won't.
Judson. Brandon
Brandon Judson.
Toby Tucker.
Toby Tucker. Eric Schmalzried.
I remember him.
And, the guy, he was so nice. So we played in a band for, I don't know how long it was. I think it was at least a couple months. I played bass, but I was so busy skateboarding at the time that I wouldn't practice. You know, I could still play 18 in Life by Skid Row on the bass, like that's, and...
that has how you got your wife to marry you.
That's right, exactly. I remember I showed up to Toby Tucker's house for practice. That's where we always practice. And I skateboarded to his house. I'm carrying my bass and my amp.
On your skateboard?
On my skateboard. And I show up, and I'm ready for practice, and Toby's like, hey, come here, I want to show you something. And he takes me into his bedroom, and he shows me this bright red bass. I was like, that is awesome. And for some reason,
no, it's our new bass player's bass.
But for some reason, I had it in my mind that he was giving me a new bass. I don't know why I would even come up with that, because I'm in 7th grade, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what 7th graders always do. Hey, man, I got you this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here, I just spent a couple $100 on this for you. And then that's
I'm
how
going to skate home with 2 basses.
I'll trade you straight up. That's how he told me that I was kicked out of the band.
Oh, man, that hurts.
It was right, because I spent too much time skating. I didn't want to practice.
And where are they now? I mean, they're probably making millions. I haven't kept up with anybody. I see people on Facebook from time to time, and like I said, I was included on the 20th reunion?
Yeah.
And then I was like going through the list of names. I was like, man, all these people, that's all I do is I just like, yeah, I can see the 12-year-old kid in that old man's face.
Yeah.
But you and I, we still look 17.
I am 17.
Yeah. That's weird how we figured out how to not age.
It's the deal with the devil that I struck.
I know. It's because you're a minister, you can do that and still be fine.
Yeah, I just ask for forgiveness a lot.
Yeah. Well, you've been flying an airplane right now for 36 minutes, and we're live.
Man, I tell you what, I'm ready to take my test.
Should.
I'm ready.
I thought about doing that, just like pretend I'm a student and go sign up for a first flight lesson, and it just. Of course, he'd probably be like, man, you suck. You're not going to be able to do this.
You end up learning more than you thought you were going to teach him. I'm so good at this, guy.
You are. I didn't mean to tell you, the autopilot's been on this whole time. Now, I'll have to figure out what area you're in and what airport's up there, and we'll come up there sometime and maybe fly up there and come visit one weekend or something. I've never been in that area.
It is really nice. We like I said, we really like it. I don't think I can be a pastor anywhere but where I am. I said pastor, not bastard, by the way.
Oh, no. I was like, you could be a bastard anywhere.
Yeah, that's all right. There's so many things that I really like about where I am, because the Midwest and sort of that Mid-Atlantic region, people are just much more easygoing when it comes to faith and Christianity. You know, Ohio, there's so many unbelievers or whatever that it's actually fun. We get to have real dialogues about what it means to...
Which is fine, but are they, like, here, I think it would be very argumentative and not a conversation.
Right.
Is it that way there, or is it more a discussion?
Genuine, like, they're inquisitive. They want to know... It's actually a little less now so, because it becomes a little argumentative as we become polarized as a culture.
Sure.
But for the most part, I mean, if they're interested in finding out about faith, they're going to ask. They're not going to fight. And it's not who's right, who's wrong, what denomination are you, because I can only do one or the other. It's really good, healthy conversation.
Well, I'm starting to come up against my time limit, so I probably need to get us back to Denton.
Yeah. This has been amazing.
That's fine. I love sharing aviation with people, and I try not to force it on people, because anytime someone, I'm like, you want to go flying? Like, we don't have to, but I really enjoy it. If you're not going to get sick or it's something you want to experience, I always look for an excuse to take people flying, especially just to be able to do this. Like, you flew a plane today. Like, that's like,
yeah.
I even now I go home, I'm like, eat dinner. Like, I flew a plane today. You know, I'm like, how cool is that? Again, I said this yesterday. Like, look at us. We're in the sky in a chair over these clouds, like no problems. You know?
No problems. This is great.
And I'll remember this forever. You know.
Yeah.
Mostly because we're going to be stuck on top of this layer and we're going to have to declare an emergency, and it's going to be on my permanent record.
And it will be. I do think it's interesting. You know, you're saying you don't want to push it onto someone. I didn't want to
ask.
Yeah.
No.
Like, because it is such a special thing, and it's like, man, what can I do to pay you back? Like, you know, this is so awesome.
People will do that. Legally, you can't pay me anything. My thing is like, I want to fly, and so I'm having as much fun as you're having.
Age sucks.
Yeah, I always thought things like that would happen to me later in life.
Yeah.
Like the most significant thing I've noticed is the time it takes me to heal, especially since I have not small kids anymore, but when the kids are small and you're down, hunched a lot, and 30 minutes of that, like help them with Legos or whatever it is, and you stand up and you're like, oh, I need to go sit.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse, man.
No, only gets worse. Well, 41 was a pretty bad year for me in terms of health. Everything started hurting at 41. I did go to the doctor, and my doctor at 40, he said, does your family have any history of, like, colon cancer or whatever? So he goes, well, you have to have a colonoscopy too.
Oh, man, that sounds fun. I'm so jealous.
It was the greatest vacation of my life. Once they get you on the drugs, you're in what they call twilight. I don't know if you've ever had to do that kind of anesthesia where you
are. It sounds nice.
It is, because you're awake, you're alert, but you're also like, it's just you're high. And
that's when I'd be worried that I'm going to blurt out something embarrassing or tell some dark secret to the world.
No, let me clear that up for you.
Oh.
You will.
Oh.
But I was pretty explicit with him while I'm laying on the table, and as he
oh God,
doing you get to watch the whole thing.
No, I don't want to. All right, so we're going to call the tower, tell him where we are and what we want to do, and he's going to give us a route.